Hey everyone, it's Lisa from the blog Farmhouse on Boone.com, and today I'm going to talk about finding contentment and joy in a home that isn't perfect. I've been thinking a lot about this subject lately. Living in an 1860s fixer-upper means that there are always to-do lists, always projects, always rooms that aren't finished, and I'm sure a lot of you have the same thing going on, or maybe you just live in a home that you don't really have any intention of fixing up, but because of the way the world is today in social media, you might find yourself not appreciating your home in the same way that you did before you compared yourself to other people and other homes, and that's really a shame because home should be a place that is comfortable and happy and a refuge no matter what it looks like. And there are a lot of ways to remind yourself of that and to appreciate that even if you're not living in perfection. First off, I want to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, Brooklinen. More on them in a bit. No matter what you're doing in your life, you probably have a to-do list and some projects on that list. One thing I've learned is that there will always be a to-do list, there will always be projects. Even when you think you're done, if you're the type of person who really loves home decor and beautifying something, you're probably going to think of something else. So the goal is to be able to enjoy your space even in the midst of that. A friend of mine is currently looking for a different house for her growing family, and she told me that this time I want my house to be really cute. I want to decorate it. In my last house I didn't, but I discovered as I was talking to her that she wanted to go to an antique mall, get everything for the house, put it in, and just be done forevermore. And I told her that once you get the bug for home decor and you really enjoy taking a space and transforming it, that's just not how it works. It is not something that can be done in a weekend. It's collected over time. You need to be able to find the joy in the whole process because it isn't something that you can just check off your list, and you need to be able to enjoy your home in all of its incomplete stages. You have to be perfectly okay with looking for 2 years for the perfect 35-inch antique hutch to fit that awkward corner where you need a little extra storage, or the final frame for the gallery wall that you've been wanting to put on the staircase. But maybe now isn't the time to tear apart your bathrooms to add that new vanity you've been dreaming about. Or you've been too busy raising kids to find that perfect antique mirror. Is it still worth it to clean the ugly sink and repaint the ugly vanity? We live in a world where comparison is so easy. I imagine the generations before us didn't spend near this much time comparing their beauty, clothes, and homes to the highlight reel of everyone else's. You only really had people in your area that you could get feedback from and compare yourself to. We need to learn how to embrace the comforts of home, even in all of its imperfections, because they will always be there. Some of the homes I admire most on the internet have a certain effortless decor style. It's not overly styled, just comfortable, homey, and so beautiful. Home canned goods lined up in a simple vintage cupboard, stacks of old quilts, something tasty sitting out on the table. I find more and more that I am drawn to homes that are just comfortable and not overly styled with a mood board, but just you can tell that people live there. We lie to ourselves and say we'll be able to truly enjoy our homes when every project is done, but the truth is, if you can't enjoy your home as it is now, you'll probably never be able to. So I've compiled 7 ways to appreciate your imperfect home, because likely yours is. I mean, whose isn't? I don't know of anybody who would consider their home perfect. And maybe if they do, it's because they already do everything on this list without even realizing it. So they already find it perfect and can't find a fault with it, which is what we should do. We should be thankful that we have our homes. Okay, so the first one is really practical. Deep clean the grout between the tile you hope to replace. Deep clean that 80s vanity and the countertops you want to upgrade someday, or even maybe not. Take care of what you have. So we have 3 bathrooms in our home that we want to redo, and we plan to do that. We just have all kinds of other things that we've done. And for probably a good 6 months to a year of living here, I just halfway cleaned the vanity. I never did where you really stand there and get out the rough cleaning products and a stainless steel scrubber for the faucet and just spend a good hour getting it in its perfect condition for what it is, because I always thought, you know what, we're gonna replace this. We're going to eventually get rid of this. But when I did that and that thing looked like almost like it was brand new, even though still ugly, I really appreciated it. I embraced that, you know what, this is probably how we're gonna have for the next 2 or 3 years. Take care of it. Take care of what you have, even if it is ugly. Wipe it down, clean it, take pride in it. Make it cozy, add a rug, just take care of it. I finally did that with all my bathrooms. I worked out every stain, I polished the stainless faucet. It felt so good to take care of what I already have, a sink that is serving my family so well. All right, my second tip is to add cozy touches that are easy, like a vintage rug or stacks of quilts, beeswax candles, a diffuser with a scent that will brighten the mood. I decided in our upstairs bathroom to take my own advice here. Again, we've been limping along thinking, okay, we're going to redo this bathroom, but I can make it so cozy and comfortable right now. I decided to touch up paint the floors. Now, eventually we might do a different flooring in there, but right now the floor is perfect. I just need to touch it up every once in a while, especially because the kids scuff it up. Add some fresh towels. Now, this is something I have not done in many years. All of our towels were beyond making bright and beautiful. I did not have a rug on the floor. I brought in Brooklinen's classic towel move-in bundle. Brooklinen is having their birthday sale. It runs from April 27th through May 5th, and all products are 20% off on their site. It includes 4 new bath towels, 2 hand towels, 4 washcloths, and a bath mat. So we're fresh and clean, and I finally moved out all of the towels that I've had for, I don't even know how long now, that aren't probably redeemable at this point. So now our not perfect, not renovated bathroom feels comfortable and fresh and new. Brooklinen, I've mentioned them here on my channel before. They are a company founded in 2014, founded on the philosophy that people deserve simple and beautiful home essentials like sheets and towels. They have the most beautiful linen sheets that you've probably seen here on my channel before that aren't overpriced and overcomplicated like the industry usually tends to be. They offer luxury grade linens at an affordable price point by cutting out the middleman to bring them direct to the consumer. Brooklinen started offering their bath goods in 2018. This is actually my first time trying it, and I'm really happy to refresh the bathroom with them. I also did get the bath mat, which will be great for whenever I'm giving the kids a bath, because currently this is the only room we give the kids a bath in, and we may or may not sometimes find water on the kitchen floor, so this should really help with that. You can click my link in the description box below to shop their biggest sale of the year. The sale runs from April 27th through May 5th, and all Brooklinen products on the site are 20% off. Again, make sure to check out Brooklinen's birthday sale through the link in the description box below. The next tip is to organize it before you do the big organization project. So this is similar to the one before, in taking care of what you have, even though you don't have the perfect system. So for example, up in our boys' rooms, I still am in the market for a bigger armoire. We have one small armoire for both of their clothes, and it's tempting just to shove things in there because it's just not what we want eventually, but I haven't had the time, and I'm currently not on the hunt for that perfect big armoire because I'm sourcing other things. But organize it anyway. Swap out the clothes for the winter that's coming soon here for us. Hang things that need to be hung. Just make what you have functional and organized. Don't leave it unorganized and cluttered just because you're not ready to do the whole project. My fourth tip is to make a beautiful meal. A loaf of sourdough bread or a nice cup of coffee or tea. You might not have your dream kitchen, but I bet you have an oven, a stove, and at least some kind of small work surface, and nothing says homey and comfort like something wonderful from the oven. Me personally, I love to cook. I feel overwhelmed a lot of times if we're doing a lot of projects in our home. Cooking something in the kitchen, no matter its state, is a reprieve for me. I can create something beautiful in a matter of hours that is done. It gives me the satisfaction of starting something and finishing it and having something nourishing to offer to my family all within a few hours, versus projects that you don't get that same kind of starting and ending satisfaction so quickly. So utilize your kitchen, make something beautiful. Even if it's not beautiful, you can make something beautiful out of your imperfect space. The fifth tip is to enjoy your outdoor spaces. If you move to your home, and maybe this won't apply to you, it may or may not, but for us, we moved to our home because of the outdoor space. I remember pulling in the driveway for the first time. There were two very shabby and dilapidated looking cottages, a house that didn't necessarily have the colors I was dreaming about, a barn that desperately needed paint on every surface. But none of that mattered to me because we pulled in this long driveway. All of the leaves had changed because it was fall, and I could see past every imperfection at the time because of the private, beautiful space we had on the outdoors. There were infinite projects ahead of us. We're still working on them. But think about what originally drew you to the home you chose. Now, if it wasn't a home that you chose, like in our last house that was a 1/4 acre in town, it wasn't necessarily the outdoor space that drew us. It was just a starter home. It was a house that we could afford at the time. But still, going outside and getting away from the projects, just enjoying the swing set for the kids, or a small garden that we had at our last place, or a couple backyard chickens. Getting outside just gets your mind off of everything going on inside, especially if you're in the middle of a renovation. Being outside in nature is always a good idea. It's always refreshing for your mind, but especially if being inside makes you think of all the things that you have to do, whether it be even just laundry. Make sure every day that you go enjoy those outdoor spaces. Number 6 on my list is to make one space lovely. You might not be able to tackle the whole house for now or for years or forever, but you can make one space a refuge for you. So when we first moved into our home, I did this with the dining room. Now, eventually we moved on to the bedroom and the living room and the kitchen. We still have to work on those bathrooms. But the dining room was the first thing. I put up a little plate rack and some pretty plates. I had a little table and I put a tablecloth on it, some flowers. It was just one tiny little corner in our kitchen that I made pretty. And I felt like, okay, everything else is not exactly how I want it, probably never will be, but this little corner I've added special touches to. I can sit in it and really enjoy the country charm that I know this house has the potential to be. But right now, maybe I can only bring that vision to one corner of our home, and that's what I did. And you could do that too. Just pick one little corner, maybe a little reading area where you could hang some art or add a special chair and make one area just how you want it. Number 7 on the list is probably easier said than done, but there are some boundaries we can put in place to achieve it. And that is to stop comparing yourself to others. This is something we have to remind ourselves constantly. It's been a battle from the beginning of time, but I'm sure now it's a little bit more challenging than it's ever been because of social media. But stop comparing what you have to what other people have. There's so many factors and variables that make everyone on a different path. For example, if I would have shown my house back when we lived on Boone Street, which I did, I showed it all the time, you would be getting a vision for our starter home. And if I would have showed it to you when we bought it 13 years ago, oh my goodness, that would have even given you a whole different vision of it because we were newlyweds. We bought the house super cheap. We hadn't done any work on it yet. Everybody is at a different stage in their process. And it's just really hard to remember whenever you see all people in all different stages when you're comparing someone else's year 10 of working on something, of renovating a building or whatever they're doing to your year 1 or where you are. Or maybe there's just so many other factors that make what some people have unattainable for you, like maybe just where you live and high prices, I don't know. This is just something that is tough because with social media, we're seeing the best parts of everyone, and even people who show their home for a living online, there's probably corners and projects and things that they still want to work on that they're not going to display and show, but all you ever see is the good. It's a really fine line between being inspired and being envious, and only you know for yourself what's going on, like where you are on that. And so some tips for it, of course, are to get off social media for a while. Go outside. It's the best place to be. Just go outside and try to get off social media, get off your phone for a while if this is something, and contentment is something that you're struggling with. I like to think back to both of my grandma's houses. They didn't think a whole lot about home decor. They just had what was practical and comfortable, and it wasn't something that they thought about. They just were raising their families in these homes, and they had a natural charm because of that, because they were lived in and not overly designed. Now, of course, I find the value in putting some intention into your home to make it beautiful and comfortable for your family, but it can definitely go too far. And we see this all over social media. So stop comparing is number 7, and it's obviously easier said than done, but there are some practical steps you can take. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that I've given you some ideas to appreciate your imperfect home, to be content. If you have a home, be thankful for your home. Think about the people in the home and enjoying them and serving them and finding contentment and joy in your home that you have. All right, make sure to check out Brooklinen's birthday sale again down in the description box below. You can get 20% off all Brooklinen products from April 27th through May 5th. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are brand new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I make 2 new videos every week on food from scratch, natural living, and a handmade home. Thank you so much for stopping by the farmhouse.